We ranked all MSC cruise ships ranked for 2025, and this brutal truth is about to expose which ships will ruin your vacation and which ones are actually worth your money. Picture spending thousands of dollars on what you think will be a dream cruise, only to find yourself trapped on a floating nightmare with broken elevators, inedible food, and cabins so small you can't even open your suitcase. That is the reality for passengers who choose the wrong MSC ship, and the cruise line definitely does not want you to know which ones are disasters waiting to happen. But here is what makes this ranking so shocking. Some of MSC's newest, most expensive ships are actually among the worst, while older vessels that cost half the price deliver experiences that blow the luxury ships out of the water. The cruise industry's dirty secret is that bigger and newer does not always mean better. Sometimes it means overcrowded, understaffed, and completely miserable. We have analyzed passenger reviews, safety records, and insider reports to create the most honest ranking you will ever see. From ships with sewage problems to vessels where the crew outnumbers the problems, we are revealing it all. Which MSC ships should you avoid at all costs? And which hidden gems could give you the cruise of a lifetime for half the price? MSC Cruises operates one of the largest fleets in the world, with 23 ships active in 2025. On paper, that sounds like endless choice, a floating city for every taste and budget. The average ship is just over 10 years old, which is younger than most major cruise lines. But numbers like these are where the confusion begins. The difference between a ship built in 2001 and one launched in 2025 is more than just a fresh coat of paint. Passenger capacity ranges from 2,600 on the oldest vessels to nearly 7,000 on the newest, and the experience can swing from quiet and intimate to overwhelming and chaotic. Industry marketing loves to showcase gleaming new ships, packed with high-tech features and record-breaking size. The reality is far more complicated. For every headline about a revolutionary new vessel, there are thousands of passengers sorting through specs, reviews, and price points, trying to decode what actually matters. One cruise analyst summed it up. The fleet's average age looks impressive, but averages hide everything. You could end up on a ship that is older than your car, or on a megaship so new the crew is still learning the ropes. Capacity and launch year are only part of the story. Some ships were refurbished in the last 5 years, while others have not seen a major update in a decade. The oldest ships, like the Lyrica class, still sail under the same brand as the cutting-edge world-class giants. But the gulf in experience is enormous. And as the fleet has grown, so have the challenges: keeping up with maintenance, training new staff, and managing the logistics of nearly 120,000 berths worldwide. The statistics suggest a modern fleet, but the real question is what those numbers mean for your vacation. With so many ships, so many promises, and so many variables, the odds of picking the wrong one are higher than most travelers realize. And as the next segment reveals, the safety record and operational reality can be just as unpredictable as the marketing spin. Sanitation inspections across the MSC fleet have revealed a pattern that rarely makes it into glossy brochures. Over the last several years, as the number of ships has grown and passenger capacity has soared, official health and safety teams have flagged multiple vessels for repeated sanitation issues. These are not isolated slip-ups or one-off mistakes. Between 2022 and 2024, the total number of inspection warnings issued to MSC ships more than doubled compared to pre-pandemic years. The average CDC vessel sanitation program score for MSC vessels dropped below 90 for the first time in over a decade, with several ships receiving moderate to severe warnings for problems ranging from improper food handling to recurring plumbing failures and pest sightings. The most concerning spikes came in 2022 and 2023, when 7 to 8 ships per year were cited for deficiencies that went beyond minor lapses. Think kitchen sanitation failures, waste system backups, and public restroom cleanliness that did not meet minimum standards. European ShipSan records echoed the same trend, highlighting food hygiene and water system problems on ships moving between regions or coming out of upgrades. While most ships passed their inspections, the fleet-wide average was dragged down by a growing number of warnings, especially on the largest and newest vessels. Industry analysts point to rapid expansion, high crew turnover, and the pressure to fill thousands of new berths as key drivers behind the rise in problems. Even as scores began to recover in 2025, with new protocols and retraining in place, trouble spots remain, especially on ships with the highest passenger loads. The numbers are clear: more ships, more passengers, and more warnings. For travelers, this means that picking the wrong ship is not just a matter of outdated decor or crowded pools. There is a measurable risk that the basics, clean water, safe food, and working bathrooms, might not be as reliable as the marketing promises. A cruise should be the highlight of the year, a chance to relax, indulge, and forget about the world for a while. For Anna, a retired teacher traveling on the MSC Sinfonia, the dream faded before the ship even left port. Her cabin door stuck on arrival, and the hallway smelled faintly of mildew. She shrugged it off, determined to make the best of her budget-friendly getaway, but the problems only grew. The elevator nearest her deck was out of order for 3 days straight. By the second morning, she was lugging her suitcase up 4 flights, dodging cleaning carts in narrow corridors. At dinner, the buffet line stretched the length of the dining room, and the food, overcooked pasta and lukewarm chicken, felt more like a cafeteria than a grand European cruise. She tried to call guest services, but the phone in her room gave only a busy signal. By the third night, the plumbing in the public restrooms failed, leaving passengers searching for working facilities on other decks. Anna's story echoes through hundreds of reviews. Sinfonia's aging infrastructure, cramped cabins, and lackluster service have become legendary for all the wrong reasons. In 2025, Sinfonia ranks dead last among all MSC ships, not because it is the cheapest, but because it delivers the least, even for the price. For travelers drawn in by low fares and promises of Mediterranean charm, the reality can be a week of frustration and regret. The cruise line calls it a budget-friendly classic. For Anna and many others, it is a warning. Sometimes saving money means paying a higher price in comfort, dignity, and peace of mind. Hidden beneath the surface of MSC's oldest ships are problems that no amount of fresh paint can disguise. The Lyrica-class vessels, Sinfonia, Lyrica, Opera, and Harmonia, were designed for a different era, long before today's passenger expectations or safety standards. Their compact size, once an advantage for intimate Mediterranean routes, now means cramped cabins, narrow corridors, and public spaces that feel crowded even at half capacity. Chronic maintenance issues are baked into the very structure, plumbing, and HVAC systems that struggle under modern loads, elevators that break down for days, and kitchens never intended to serve thousands of guests at once. Even after major refurbishments in 2015, key limitations remained. The infrastructure simply can't keep pace with the demands of cruising in 2025. Travelers lured by low fares often discover that the price tag hides a different kind of cost. Water pressure fluctuates, air conditioning fails in stretches of the ship, and basic repairs like stuck doors or broken public restrooms can take days to resolve. Crew members, stretched thin, juggle constant fixes while trying to maintain service. Behind the scenes, MSC's rapid expansion has left older ships at the back of the maintenance queue, with resources prioritized for the newest megaships. The result is a cycle: deferred repairs, patchwork fixes, and a growing list of passenger complaints. On paper, these ships are budget-friendly. In reality, they carry the warning signs of a system pushed past its limits, a structural flaw that no discount can hide. Cruise fares on MSC can look like a bargain, especially compared to the eye-watering prices of other major lines. But the numbers tell a different story once you step on board. Many ships in the fleet charge what seem like moderate rates, but deliver experiences that leave passengers questioning every dollar spent. On review platforms, Fantasia-class and Musica-class ships often land in the middle of the pack, with satisfaction ratings hovering just above 3 out of 5 stars. Yet their fares can match or even exceed those of newer, better-reviewed ships in the Seaside class or Meraviglia class. The sense of disappointment grows when you look at the breakdown. A family of 4 booking a Fantasia-class ship for a Mediterranean cruise in 2025 might pay nearly $5,000 for a balcony cabin and find themselves navigating lines for every meal, struggling with outdated entertainment, and dealing with maintenance issues that never seem to get fixed. Meanwhile, passengers on the Seaside-class ships, paying similar or even lower fares, report smoother service, fresher dining, and a more relaxed atmosphere. This is not just about old ships versus new ones. The real issue is the economic mismatch between what is promised and what is delivered. MSC pricing structure often puts mid-tier ships in direct competition with their own newer, more innovative vessels. The result is that many travelers end up overpaying for a cruise that feels stuck in the past, while hidden gems with lower fares and higher ratings go overlooked. For anyone comparing numbers online, it is easy to fall for the value illusion and only realize the truth when the vacation is already underway. A cruise ship can promise the world, but for older travelers or anyone with mobility challenges, the reality often comes down to the basics. Can you get where you need to go? And will you be comfortable once you are there? On many mid-tier MSC ships, especially the Fantasia and Musica classes, the answer is far from reassuring. Each Fantasia-class vessel carries over 4,000 passengers, but with just 14 passenger elevators, the math quickly turns against anyone who cannot take the stairs. At peak times, such as embarkation, after-dinner shows, or port days, waits of 10 minutes or more are common. For those using wheelchairs or scooters, it is not unusual to watch full elevators pass by, cycle after cycle, before there is finally space to board. The challenge does not stop at the elevator doors. Corridors on the residential decks measure just under 48 inches across, barely wide enough for a wheelchair, and impossible to navigate when housekeeping carts or laundry bins are parked in the way. Standard cabins, meanwhile, were never designed with modern mobility aids in mind. Doors are often too narrow, and storage rules require wheelchairs and scooters to be stowed inside the cabin overnight, leaving little room for anything else. Passengers describe having to move furniture just to open the door or access the bathroom, if they can even fit through the entrance at all. That squeeze makes life on board impossible for some. Accessible cabins do exist, and those who manage to book one often report a much smoother experience. But these rooms are limited, and they are snapped up months in advance. For everyone else, the promise of a relaxing cruise can quickly turn into a stressful routine of waiting, squeezing, and maneuvering through spaces that were not built for today's travelers. The result is a kind of invisible barrier, one that is not listed in the brochure, but can define the entire vacation for anyone who is not fully mobile. On MSC Bellissima, the difference is felt from the moment you step on board. Launched in 2018 and carrying just over 4,500 guests, Bellissima has quietly built a reputation that outshines much newer, flashier ships. It is not the biggest in the fleet, nor the most expensive, but real travelers keep coming back with the same verdict. This is the ship that gets it right. Take Mark and Linda, a couple from Manchester who have sailed with MSC for over a decade. They booked Bellissima after a disappointing trip on a megaship left them exhausted by crowds and endless lines. On Bellissima, they found something different. Mark describes the atmosphere as relaxed, almost like a floating resort where the staff actually remember your name. Linda points out the little things. Our cabin was spotless, the food was fresh every night, and we never had to fight for a sunbed. Crew members echo this sense of pride. One longtime steward says it is easier to give great service here. They say there are enough hands to do things properly, and the guests notice. With a crew-to-passenger ratio of about 2.8 to 1, Bellissima avoids the staffing crunch that plagues larger ships. Staff turnover is lower, and many have worked together for years, creating a smooth, welcoming environment. Passenger reviews back up these stories. Bellissima consistently scores at the top of customer satisfaction rankings, outpacing newer ships that cost much more. Frequent comments praise the ship's layout, open but never overwhelming, with dining venues and lounges that rarely feel crowded. The design invites people to linger rather than rush. For travelers burned by the chaos of megaships or frustrated by the shortcomings of older vessels, Bellissima offers proof that bigger is not always better. Sometimes, the sweet spot is a ship that is just the right size, with a seasoned crew and a design built for comfort, not spectacle. The result is a cruise experience that feels personal, reliable, and above all, worth every penny. MSC World Europa stands apart from every other ship in the fleet, not because of its size, but because of how that size is managed. Designed by a team led by naval architect Pierfrancesco Vago, World Europa was built from the keel up to solve the core problems that haunt most megaships: crowd control, environmental impact, and passenger comfort. Instead of endless corridors and bottlenecked dining rooms, the ship is divided into distinct neighborhoods, each with its own restaurants, entertainment, and outdoor spaces. This district concept means that even with nearly 7,000 guests on board, public areas rarely feel packed. Passengers can move from the Mediterranean promenade, with its open-air cafes and shops, to the Zen district, a quiet retreat at the ship's aft, without ever feeling lost in a sea of people. On the technical side, World Europa is the first MSC vessel powered entirely by liquefied natural gas. This is not just a marketing line. It reduces emissions dramatically, earning the ship recognition from maritime environmental groups and a rare Eco Award from the European Green Maritime Council. The engineering goes deeper than propulsion. Advanced water treatment systems, energy-saving lighting, and real-time crowd monitoring all work behind the scenes to keep operations smooth and sustainable. Passengers notice the difference immediately. Reviews from 2025 describe a ship that feels both grand and intimate, where lines are short and the crew seems everywhere at once. Dining venues are spread out, so dinner never means a wait, and there is always a quiet lounge or sun deck within reach. Even at full capacity, World Europa's design absorbs the crowds, turning what could be chaos into a sense of effortless ease. For many, it is the first time a megaship has delivered on the promise of luxury at scale. That is why, after all the rankings, all the reviews, and all the hard lessons from the rest of the fleet, World Europa claims the top spot, not just as the newest ship, but as the one that finally gets it right. Today, cruise lines bank on the belief that bigger ships mean better experiences. Yet passenger data in 2025 proves otherwise. Comfort and satisfaction often hide in unexpected corners of the fleet. As new megaships multiply, travelers face a choice: follow the hype or trust the evidence. In the end, knowing the difference could save your vacation and save your wallet. What would you choose? Let me know in the comments below.